Namaste, Ram here, your DNA hacker. As promised, I have the men's version of top recommended supplements. As usual, you want to please subscribe, hit the notification bell, give a thumbs up, and comment. If you comment, I can tailor make a video for you. If you ask me questions, we can make it interactive. You can reach me at Rama's Rooted Tree on social media. This channel, of course, is going to be migrating to my brand channel, DNA Hacker Secrets, which is the name of an upcoming podcast we're working on. As well, on the link below, you will find a medium.com article where I go into a lot more detail about each one of these. You want to check that out. There's about 40 articles. They're all excellent, and you definitely want to look into them. The first one is saw palmetto. It's like an herb. That is a plant, and this plant, you can get it in an extract form. And it helps to treat if you're having urinary tract infections or sexual dysfunction associated with an enlarged prostate. So enlarged prostate are already signs that there's something up. I have not be discussing it here, but I do have ways to that I recommend to deal with prostate cancer and prostate issues. You want to check out my video for prostate health that I've loaded on this channel. So it's one that is research has shown helps to treat some of the symptoms of already having a large prostate, which is already the beginnings of steps towards potentially a prostate cancer. And of course, lycopene. You've probably heard lycopene before, very enriched in tomatoes. I mentioned a number of other foods in the article where you can get these. Here are a few additional ones: apricots, watermelons. But tomatoes tend to be my favorite one. Whenever I do a juice, I typically juice a tomato in large part because it doesn't change the flavor of the juice and it adds a lot of rich nutrition to it. Remember that we emphasize at Rama's Rooted Tree, I emphasize to my clients and students, whole plant-based diet rich in superfoods. We need to view food differently. We need foods that are low in calorie and higher in nutrition, that increase your sense of fullness, give you rich, vibrant colors and phytonutrients, and give you the energy you need without adding a lot of things that you don't. So keep that in mind. And of course, lycopene has been shown to lower the risk of cancer. And typically, I don't like to say lower the risk. It's not that vegetables, fruits, the superfoods lower the risk. It's that they're actually not disease-inducing. Foods that are associated with cancer, heart disease, so on and so forth, diabetes, these are animal-based foods that turn on the wrong genetic programs, gene programs for disease, for inflammation, for example, and of course for abnormal cell division. Foods that don't, well, you would say they lower the risk of developing some sort of disease, when in reality what they do is they push you towards health and keep you away from disease. So the more that you eat them, the better. I recommend at least 50% of your diet should be raw, whole plant-based. You should really be eating at every meal fresh fruit or vegetables, salads, stuff like that as well. And of course, if you're eating grain seeds, the same thing. And of course, lycopene also associated with improved cardiovascular health, again for the same reasons. This is shifting your composition towards health, turning on genetic programs for balance, homeostasis, well-being, vibrancy, energy, good memory, good cognitive function, brain health, so on and so forth. This is one you've probably not heard of, along with saw palmetto, is beta-sitosterol. This again is a plant compound, and I have more information in the article, and this lowers the risk of coronary heart disease. And it's one that I do not take, but I would recommend taking it if you're having symptoms again of enlarged prostate, some abnormalities in your prostate gland. Again, if you watch my video on, which I will put at the end of this video, I'll put a link to that video on prostate health. I highly recommend you watch it because in it I really emphasize the fact that you can avoid prostate cancer altogether. You don't need to get checked if you actually take the right steps, if you do the right things, if you eat the right foods. Ginseng, you've probably heard of, maybe you take Panax ginseng. It's an adaptogenic herb. It's I love things that are adaptogenic. In my book, The Art of Stress-Free Living, you can get the book in a link below. You can get the book. And that adaptogenic herbs are herbs that are able to counter stress, that they shift your body towards balance. They keep you in a balanced state. And so, an adaptogenic herb that I often talk about in my book is maca is an example of one, ashwagandha is another one. These are herbs that are designed to keep your body in balance, to help fight stress, things of that nature. And Panax ginseng is one of them. This will improve your energy levels, your sex drive, it will treat erectile dysfunction. And of course, erectile dysfunction, again, is a product of cardiovascular disease. You're doing things, you're eating foods that are inducing cardiovascular disease. One of the first ways in guys where cardiovascular disease manifests is in erectile dysfunction. The arteries are already showing signs of occlusion and problems. Blood is not flowing as it should towards the genitals, and therefore erection is impeded. It also enhances brain function. And so this is a great herb. If you are younger, let's say college, 20s, maybe even early 30s, depending on the individual, you want to be careful with ginseng because it can actually give you way too much energy. It may be too what's called in yoga rajasic. It leads to too much agitation, anxiety, too much energy. It can stimulate stress. So I discuss this in more detail in The Art of Stress-Free Living, because there is another version of ginseng that actually has a more opposing effect. And so depending on the personality, and of course I want to get to know you when I work with somebody, I recommend different herb combinations. And this is one that you want to actually be a bit more informed. As you hear a little birdie maybe chirping in the background. Then we have zinc. And you've probably seen zinc when in certain like cold and supplements where they'll give you something maybe that you put in water and it's effervescent and you drink it, or zinc little droplets that you put maybe on your tongue. So zinc is known to be important for your immune system. Minerals are often ignored, these micronutrients are ignored, but they hold the key to well-being because they form part of a healthy biochemical system. Molecules often need them to operate and catalyze reactions. So you want to keep in mind that you want to include a lot of these minerals. I talk about, for example, magnesium on medium.com, and I do a whole article on magnesium. It's one that people are often low in. And this one is also known to boost sperm count and testosterone levels. So I share often when I work with clients and students at my events, and I have an upcoming event in a couple of weeks. You may want to be interested in my DNA Hacker Secrets events. This one is The Art of Stress-Free Living. I always, when I work with guys, I always want to give them tips on how they can keep their sex drive up, their energy level up. They can avoid what we often consider a normal part of aging in the 40s and 50s, which are all these problems, let's say, with sex drive or erectile dysfunction and cardiovascular disease and cognitive dysfunction, etc. None of these things are normal. You can live a life that is 100% stress and disease-free if you take the right steps. Nobody out there can really teach you how to do that. I have devoted well over 2 decades to mastering this. And when I say 100%, I mean 100%. I'm not talking just about chronic diseases. I'm talking about viral diseases, flus, things of that nature, more common everyday things. You can actually perfect your state of being to remain in balance, to be able to keep yourself above disease. So zinc, you want to have that. It's not, I'm saying, I don't mean here for any of these that you necessarily need to be taking supplements. For these, the saw palmetto and the beta cytosterol, these are actually more for prostate issues, so kind of like a natural remedy for that. But the other ones you can actually get from your diet. This is more of a one that you would get as an herb. I often recommend these as getting them in the actual raw root form, juicing them. The same thing, let's say, for ginger or turmeric. But you have to remember, whenever you're taking anything, you want to have a fat source, some oil, because maybe take a spoonful of olive oil or MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. These are found in coconut oil that are beneficial for health. I talk about MCTs and medium.com as well in an article. Again, well aware, we're nearing about 40 articles. They're all amazing content you want to check out. And lastly, this one again is one that you've probably not heard of. Diindolylmethane, or DIM. I discussed this one as well in the female version of this for women's health. And this is one that's found in cruciferous vegetables like kale. These are probably one of the most powerful vegetables, ones that you should be consuming regularly. That should form a part of your diet every day. Is part of a routine to be able to keep yourself optimized. Also cabbage and broccoli, those types of vegetables, radish. So these have a number of benefits, and it's often taken with adaptogenic maca powder. So you may find it like in a capsule form with maca. Maca, similar to ginseng, it's an adaptogenic herb. It will help to balance you, to give you more energy. Vital is a great herb, root, and I discussed it as well in the Art of Stress-Free Living, in the body stress kind of diet section of that book. And diindolylmethane, or DIM, is anti-aging, and this is going to balance hormones both for males and females. So if you're already showing these signs of lower testosterone levels, having your energy level a little lower, restlessness, having difficulty sleeping, stress starting to build up, cardiovascular disease is already there, even if you have not checked yourself, even at a young age, those with an animal-based diet, higher in saturated fats, already have cardiovascular disease around the arteries, around the heart, especially those coronary arteries, if you like examine them. And so if you're already having difficulty in any of these kind of arenas, it's going to help you. It's going to help you feel younger, more energetic, more sex drive. Your mood is going to be better, and it also helps with prostate health. And lastly, to enhance your lean body mass if you're into fitness and stuff like that. So again, saw palmetto, lycopene, beta-sitosterol, Panax ginseng, zinc, and DIM. And if you have any questions, comments, anything that I may have missed or not clear, you can also check the article on medium.com and go into more detail. I hope that served you well. I'm Ron. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.